Healthcare workers could be the first to get a COVID-19 vaccine in just weeks. But some have concerns they want addressed before getting it.
Plus, they say they were promised a green and environmentally friendly way to invest their money. Instead, some people say a North County company took thousands of their dollars and did not deliver. Tonight, the response from the former owner.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
But first, the Vista Unified School District just announced that all middle and high schools will return to virtual learning only until after the winter break, which starts December 18th. The superintendent cites the rise in COVID cases, but emphasizes that it has not seen any evidence of spread on campuses. And this semester, the district has been sending large groups of students home for 14 days after possible exposure to classmates and faculty members who have contracted COVID. Parents have also expressed a lot of frustration over little to no social distancing inside the classrooms. And it may be just weeks before the first COVID-19 vaccines are administered. 2 weeks ago, Pfizer announced its vaccine candidate was more than 90% effective.
But it has been less than a year since anyone started working to develop a vaccine, and local healthcare workers who will be among the first to get it are sharing their concerns. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco shows us why some feel the process moved too fast.
California's governor announced Monday that healthcare workers would be in the first group to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Dr. Holly Yang is the president of the San Diego County Medical Society. She's optimistic.
There's lots of groups looking at it, the science, so I have faith that they will be safe. And I will be in line with my arm just like everybody else. But
not everyone will rush to get in line. A UCLA study conducted among healthcare employees in late September showed there are concerns. 47% were unwilling to participate in a vaccine trial. 66% said they plan to delay getting vaccinated. 83% said their decision is based primarily on the fast-track timeline.
What we're just demanding is that we are guided by science and safety first.
Michelle Mahone is an RN and a director with National Nurses United. The group represents roughly 90,000 nurses in California.
We want to see that this process is conducted with transparency. We want to see the data and the evidence and the science behind that.
Monday, AstraZeneca reported its vaccine is up to 90% effective. Friday, Moderna and Pfizer both applied for emergency FDA authorization, saying their vaccines are 95 and 90% effective. Dr. Yang says it's still too early to say if healthcare workers will be required to get the vaccine.
I would advocate for that. I mean, I think that it's important that we have vaccination.
Right now, healthcare workers in California are required to get certain vaccines like flu shots. The first batch of COVID-19 immunizations could be ready as early as mid-December. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
And an increasing number of San Diegans are getting tested for COVID, leading to long lines such as this one you see way down below. This was about an hour ago. You can see that long line of cars. It snakes around the blocks to the South Chula Vista Library. In the meantime, the single largest daily increase in San Diego's COVID cases has led to a sharp jump in our 14-day rolling average. Nearly 5.5% of all tests given over the past 2 weeks have been positive tests. The county announced more than 1,500 new cases today. That breaks our previous single-day record from 4 days ago. Our total is now more than 74,000 cases. There were also a significant number of deaths reported today. 16 more San Diegans have died from the virus. 984 have died since the pandemic began.
And while many business owners were forced to make the painful decision to shut down during this pandemic, some are opening for the first time. And that includes Samantha and Weston Naraki, who just opened their second coffee shop last week on Grand Avenue in Escondido. The city reports that since March 1st, hundreds of new businesses have opened.
We've had 696 new businesses. These are new permanent in-city businesses open up. The bulk of those businesses are actually home occupations. So we have quite a few folks that have decided to become entrepreneurs and start up different businesses out of their homes. We also had a number of retailers and restaurants open up.
Escondido has a program in place to help small business owners with the current restrictions. They're also offering complimentary fencing to help with the move outdoors. We have that information on our website, 10news.com.
UC San Diego is giving its students and staff a heads up that the virus that causes COVID-19 was found in more of the university's wastewater this week. The virus was found in water from 11 a.m. on Sunday until 1 p.m. on Monday. Here's a full list of the affected buildings. Anyone who used the restroom in any of these buildings during that time period is now encouraged to get a COVID test. Again, the virus appeared in wastewater collected from these buildings between 11 Sunday night and 1 Sunday afternoon. Just over 100 UCSD students have tested positive for coronavirus since the return to campus.
The San Diego Humane Society is managing to thrive in this challenging time. Our partners at KPBS report the Humane Society quickly began hosting drive-through events back in March, and that continues to happen. They say San Diegans have stepped up to support them and the animals, and there are fewer pets being dropped off at the Humane Society, but those who are not there as long as they used to be. It's a silver lining for people and pets.
They need something to distract the kids, and animals are great at that. They need something to take care of and to care for them back. Animals certainly give unconditional love because they can't do different, but it's the one thing that we can give unconditional love back to.
The Humane Society says that it's also changing its business model for when the pandemic is over to interact with people in a whole new way. You can track the latest coronavirus developments with the ABC 10 News app. It is free in the App Store. Police now say the woman found dead in Carlsbad was stabbed while out for a walk or a jog. A passerby spotted her body yesterday morning on the Hosp Grove Trail near Monroe Street. Her name is being withheld, but investigators say she is a 68-year-old woman from Carlsbad. According to a citizen's tip, there may have been a man in the area at the time described as white or Hispanic with a husky build, a tan complexion, and dark hair. He was said to be walking with a slight shuffle or a limp. Anyone with information is asked to call Carlsbad police, and officers are also stepping up patrols in the area. They're urging people not to walk there alone.
Now to a Team 10 investigation. Investigators say a North County company promised a green and environmentally friendly way for people to invest their money. Instead, multiple people told Team 10 they got nothing and they lost thousands of their dollars, some their life savings. Our Team 10 investigator, Melissa Messija, shows us the response she got from the former head of that company when she pressed him for answers.
These men live all over the world. Mark Baker in Arizona, Navy veteran Michael Tillman in Maryland, and Greg Robertson, who lives in Rome. They share their stories with me about this company, Pacific Teak, managed by Pacific Management Group, and this guy, Ronald Fleming from Oceanside. On Pacific Teak's website, he's still listed as PMG chairman and founder. Investors gave me this brochure from the company, which said the Pacific Teak Reforestation Project provides people the opportunity to build their financial future while saving the tropical rainforest.
How much money did you invest?
The first time, $64,000.
And this is all from your retirement?
This was all from my 401k, yes ma'am.
I spoke to Mark during a visit to San Diego. He showed me paperwork confirming the first investment from 2010. In 2014, he invested another $150,000.
Have you received any money?
No, ma'am.
He trusted Ron. After all, their moms were best friends and they grew up together. I'm holding purchase agreements for 6 people who say they invested anywhere from $17,000 to nearly $300,000. That investment made in trees, not like the ones you see here in San Diego, but teak trees in Costa Rica. Once the trees grew larger, the company said profits grew larger too. They would harvest and sell the timber, and investors would get return on their investment. The company claiming from seedlings to maturity, the tree's value could increase tenfold.
It was a green investment. You know, they were planting and they were redeveloping land that had been the victim of slash and burn techniques by the locals.
Greg Robertson met Ron by fate on a flight in the late 1990s.
That developed into a friendship.
He invested nearly $90,000 with Pacific Teak.
This was a very green project. It was long-term. It was all positives.
Positive at first, but changed as time went on.
We got zero correspondence, no monthly letters or annual business account letters, no company account, nothing.
That brings me to Michael Tillman. He said he put in more than $17,000 in early 2009.
It's just the stress of trying to figure out where I'm going to recoup this money to send my daughter to school.
Michael said the company gave investors these Teak forecasters, which showed how much the trees gained in value over the years.
So I'm looking at the low end, which is $54,000 on this, and I'm thinking still that'll cover maybe a semester or two.
He started to sense something was wrong a couple years ago when they stopped hearing from Ron. Michael got in contact with people like Mark and Greg. Their money nowhere to be found.
I'm already stressed out because for so long, I thought that it was taken care of.
I asked Ron for a phone or on-camera interview. He responded to a couple of my emails saying he resigned himself from the company in 2013 due to health reasons. Ron said someone else in Costa Rica took over. We attempted to reach out on the website, but haven't heard back. Ron also said Hurricane Otto in 2016 caused catastrophic damage to the project. I asked Ron if he retired, why didn't he tell anyone? Investors also said they were not told of any hurricane damage until after they questioned Ron for updates.
I was devastated. I never thought it was part of his character.
I also asked him about this. The California Department of Business Oversight cited Ron and Pacific Teak in 2016. It issued a desist and refrain order saying Pacific Teak and Pacific Management Group were never supposed to operate to begin with. The state said they were not issued a permit, and the company misrepresented the investors would receive substantial profits. It also alleged Pacific Teak was in violation of the corporate securities law. Ron never answered my follow-up questions. Instead, I heard from his lawyer. His attorney told me Mr. Fleming has done nothing unethical in connection with his association with Pacific Management, from which he resigned in 2013. He added to be very careful in what I publish in this matter. The investors still in shock over someone they thought was a friend.
He didn't care about us at all, just about himself.
He's messed up so many lives, so many lives.
Investors told me they reported Ron to the FBI. A spokesperson said they couldn't confirm or deny any investigation, but will take appropriate action if it's warranted. Melissa Masiha, Team 10.